Hey everybody, welcome back to the QC. Sorry we're a few minutes late. I am live with Manu Raspall. Manu, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, good morning, Swanka. What's up?
Not much,
I'm
not
ready
much.
for this. I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm excited as well. We're going to be talking today about Manu's background.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm excited as well. We're going to be getting an echo. Are you hearing that echo?
Yeah. But on your side, like a very faint one.
Echo. Hmm. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey guys.
like a very faint one.
It's 10 p.m. in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
We're good.
It's 10 p.m. in the Philippines. Yeah. Hey guys.
We're good. All right, so that should.
Yep.
You able to hear me?
Yep. Yep. Loud and clear. Do you hear it on your side now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know for some reason I'm getting an echo.
Oh.
Let me see if it.
But I don't hear it here. I don't hear it everywhere.
You don't hear
You're
the echo? Okay.
Yeah, you're clear. I'm clear.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
hmm I'm gonna ask some friends if they hear the echo. Okay. Do you hear echo? Okay,
Okay.
because my friends are watching now. Yep. So, how are you? How have you been?
Yeah, everything's good on my end. Excited to talk about this project and the things that you're working on, and the Ecean screenplay.
Yep. Let's do it.
So, Manu, how would you describe your specific style or brand of artistry?
Okay. So because I was raised Europeanly, so my sense and sensibility is European. So uh, I my my influence are are guys from abroad. So I read Khalil Gibran. I read Neil Gaiman. I read Ben Okri. So these influences that I have so turned me into that kind of like an experimental kind of an artist. So I'm very organic with my art. So but since I was little, people don't actually get it, the sense and sensibility of what I do. But other people, I mean, the other people who know and are educated about art and the likes and the 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 intricacy, the categories available. They get it because I went to an art school in the University of the Philippines. So my professors there, they tell me, Manu, your sense and sensibility is European. I mean, only people from outside will dig the you know. So but I didn't stop. So I tried explaining myself all throughout my life. My dad was a big influence also to me because he's a painter, he's an illustrator, he's a sculptor, and my great granddad is a national artist. So yeah, there. So I'm pretty much experimental and organic. So that's how I do my art. It's I love surrealism. So even in my oil paintings, in my pen and ink, I it's always surrealism and then some. So that's why when I write also, it's also experimental and poetic, prose like. So I never, although I tried, when I write, I tried sounding like, like a narrative one and like how books are, but I couldn't sustain it. So I figured I create my own experimental way of writing. So even the way I dance, Swanka. So I'm also like a member of a World Dance Alliance here, and I'm also a choreographer. So it's it's always experimental. I love like also lyrical hip hop choreographing, uh, uh, you know, postmodern movements, and I also created my own formula and my own dance theory. So it's always experimental, and I love twisting what's normal there.
Okay. Can you can you tell us a little bit about some of the struggles you've experienced through your arc?
Oh, I don't know if you guys have this, because here in, I think in Asia or in the Philippines, when kids are into arts, the parents always just automatically say, "There's no money in art, so don't do art. Do something else." Like be a lawyer, be an engineer, be a doctor, be a chef, be a whatever. When it's arts, they tell you there's no money there. So, but me, because my dad is an artist, my granddad is an artist, and everyone else are artists. So I fought through it, and I said no, there is money in art, and I became independent since I was 17. So I tried to do everything on my own, and I struggled to make people believe in my art, and I never stopped. So when I was little, I just created and created and created and tried so many categories, left and right, whatever catches my interest. I just try it out. Even my family don't know what I do, and I just do it, and then I get into it. You know how what they say, right? When people say, "Jack of all trades, master of none."
Mm-hmm.
I tried to prove them wrong by being a jack of all trades, master of all I do, all the things I do. So there are only two. There are only There's only one kind of art that I don't do, and I choose not to do it. So I don't play instruments. So yeah, that's the only thing that one art that I never like concentrated on. But when I was little, I knew how to play the piano, but I gave up on it and just concentrated on other things. So now I have 17 categories in my portfolio, in my resume, of what 17 kinds of art that I do, from hosting to acting to dancing, singing, writing, sculpture, painting, etc. Like I do photography. I'm a fashion designer also. I was featured in Europe and in a New York magazine and etc. So I tried all of it, but I left some, like like playing instruments. So I don't know that, and I want to leave it like that. So that there's some art that I don't do,
Got it. Got it.
and it's actually, if come to think of it, when people tell me it's I'm spreading myself too thinly and doing a lot of things, I tell them no, I only do one thing, art. You know, it's not like I'm an artist and then I'm a doctor and then I'm a lawyer and then I'm
Right.
an engineer. No, that's spreading yourself thinly. But if it's just one category, just arts, I think it's just one. For me,
Gotcha.
it's one category.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the writers or artists that inspired you through your journey?
Okay, I remember now, just now it clicked in my mind. When I was little, I was always forced to read. Did you experience this, Swanko, when you were young? Like parents are always saying, "Read books, read a book. Come on, read a book. What are you doing? You're always playing. Read a book." I, I hated that. I hated reading, and because they shove it in our faces, these thick classic books, and I don't feel like reading them, and then and then suddenly it clicked in my head when I was in like high school. I was like, how will I start reading? So I thought of something. I said, what if I just read something I like? So I started going to the bookstores and trying to scan what shelves have, and then suddenly something caught my eye. And so to begin with, Swanka, of course, I'm a surrealist and whatever. So when it's a cover that's weird, so it catches my attention. When the title is strange, so
Sure.
I get it. I look at the first few pages. If it attracts my mind in the first two sentences, then I'm interested, and then I buy. So, but there's one book, Swanka, that kind of sort of changed my life, and it's written by Ben Okri. So Okri, Ben Okri, who wrote The Famished Road. That's a that's known. That's a known, I think, classic book of his. I saw his book called Astonishing the Gods. So when I bought that, I was blown away. My mind, my spirit, my soul, my heart was like, "What? There's a book that that lives like this and breathes like this." So I was eating it alive. Like, I read that in one afternoon and I was blown away. And I read it a couple more times after, you know, as time goes by. I read it again, and it really literally changed my life. Like, literally changed my mind and how I write, and how I see the world. So you guys might want to check it out, guys. So it's Astonishing the Gods by Ben Okri. It's uh, about a guy who just escapes and from his parents, and discovers himself, and it's an adventure and a psychological thing, a spiritual thing. It's a coming of age thing. And then I realized, whoa, this is me. So that's when I got to relate to these kinds of books. And then when I discovered Neil Gaiman of the Sandman series when I was in college, then that like even blew my mind even further. And then I got to know now, oh shucks, there's Clive Barker, there's Edgar Allan Poe, all these dark, I love it. And then I ate those up, and hence the influence of why I write like that. So I've got experimental books. So I have 8 books now. I wrote, and the, all of them have been shelved for decades. And it's just lately that someone just said, you know what? Let me produce that book of yours. So there. So just waiting here all my life so far to just be, you know, someone to trip and discover what I have. So far I've had a couple of people who come to me and say, "Hey Manu, what you got? Can I check some?" So there, until I found a guy who funded my books. And yeah. So I'm about to send you some, okay, Sangha? Uh,
Yeah, please do. And
yeah.
I can relate to a lot of what you're saying. Reading is something that I developed a love for at a very young age, and definitely expanded my mind, and inspired me to be creative, and to try to create. So definitely can relate to what you're saying there. So
What's yours? What's your favorite book? What
my
changed your
favorite book, so The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho
Oh
comes to
yeah,
mind.
I forgot that. I forgot that. The Paulo Coelho books. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Alchemist is crazy, right? Astonishing the Gods is some sort of like that. Yeah, it's of the same animal, so but in
Yeah,
a
and I
different.
grew up reading a lot of Stephen King, a lot of Michael Crichton,
Yep, yep.
so definitely a lot of the more famous artists, excuse me, writers from, I guess, that were cutting their teeth when I was younger, were
Uh-huh.
people that I was reading, so yeah. So I want to pivot to talking a little bit about Ecean. So Ecean is a
Oh,
screenplay
okay.
written by Manu, and the screenplay is in pre-production and has some pretty big names that are attached but unannounced. And we're excited to talk about kind of the genesis of the screenplay, where it is, and where we expect it to be going in the next year or so. So I read the script recently, and needless to say, I'm very excited to see it come to life. Can you tell us about kind of your writing process for Ecean?
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a it's a crazy journey with Ishan. Okay, So I'm gonna go way back, like years. Okay, Swanka. I hope you guys don't mind. So, uh, I mean, just ride my drift. So, 28 years ago, I wrote this, and so I was so fascinated with Sandman, with Lord of the Rings, and then lately Game of Thrones and all that. So 28 years ago, I wrote a simple outline of my story, and then weeks, months come, I get to add on it and build the whole story and everything. So 28 years ago, I built the whole structure with all of the names because I love naming, characters. I love it. I love because I'm a poet, so I love naming strange, beautiful, ancient sounding names. So I named all of them. I created all the races, even the writing, even the language I have. Like, believe you me, I have it all. Even how to learn about it. I created like the whole like instruction manuals for for how to pronounce things, so how to write them, what it means, and all that. And then so when I completed that, I shelved it. Because I thought I was so insecure. I was young. I was 17, and I was like, nah, this is my secret. Okay, so I shelved it. But every year when I watch something, I get triggered. So I go back to it and right into it again, make it even richer as I go. And then years and years I do that and then shove it again. And then like 8, 7 years ago, my best friend like stumbled into my things in my room and she discovered my manuscript. So she read it and then she was like, Manu, is this yours? You wrote this? And I was like, yeah. Why did you read it? And then she goes, dude, this is crazy. And I was a little convinced and I said, really? Do you think? And then we started letting other friends come around, like we have parties, and then I get to tell them live. I mean, I don't make them read it. I get to tell them my story. Like, okay, guys, so this is about blah blah blah, and then guess what? And then the king. So I get like a whole night of that, and then they're all like, oh my god, that should be a movie. So we had that for like a decade of that, like eight years of that, and then suddenly she goes, this should be a movie, Manu. Please finish it. Finish it. So I haven't written the script down, but I have it all here and in scratch papers. You know how we are, like writing on pieces of paper when we think of something. Like when
Sure.
I'm outside, when I'm in the mall, I suddenly just get tissue paper and write something because I get inspired. So I have all those, and then my my Kotanda one day she calls my friend and says, hey, hey, Chris. So his name is Christopher Rojas. Hey, Chris, I need an actor. I need an actor to read for a table reading. And I'm like, and then Chris goes, oh, okay, Manu. Manu's an actor. He's my friend. So we had a video call. And then we had the reading. And then I gave my 2 cents about the reading, the story. And I said, I don't think it's and then after the table reading, she goes, "Okay, thank you so much, guys, for your reaction. So, thank you. It's been a good read tonight." And we were together with famous actors here in the country. So, and then I asked her email. I said, "Can I get your email?" And then she gave it to me. And then that night, after that call, that video call, after the table reading, I took it upon myself to write a few, like a prologue and the first few scenes that I think should be how it should be. So, and then I finished it at like 2 a.m. I emailed it to her. The next day, 7 a.m., she calls. She goes, Manu, okay, so that scene on the blah, blah, blah. Okay, make sure that. Blah, blah. So I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it ran an hour of a call. And then when she go, okay, bye bye, I'll get back to you. When I put the phone down, I was like, did I just discuss further on the script. So I found myself just writing it already, and then she just comes and calls and says, "So what's up now? So how far are you in? So when are you finishing?" So cut to the seventh day. I finished the whole script in 7 days. That script that you read. And I was like, whoa. But to begin with, like the first few days, she goes, "Manu, we want more characters. We want more characters. Can you create more?" And I go, "Don't worry. I have 28 years of what I want to put in here." So what I did, Swaka, so I'll be honest, it was supposed to be for another film, yeah? You know this already. We can't reveal it, but just yet. So it was supposed to be for this character, right? Of a movie that already exists in Hollywood. So, but then when my wanted to me to just create a whole history behind it, I I just I just poured everything in it. I poured everything. I took it. I took that chance to just make give my story a breath and give birth to them and just rode away. And maybe because after all these years, I've been waiting for this one chance. So that's what made me really like wrote it and finished it in 7 days. And my after 7 days didn't want to read it first. So she goes, call me, tell me about the story. So I told her verbally, like I was so excited. I was like, and then guess what? So she discovers that she's so we went like 2 hours on the phone and she's like, oh my God, finish it. And then she was so excited. And then there was a pause because of the next wave of pandemic. So uh and then the plan was cut because of trouble on the side of the original film. And then after a few months she came back to me and said, "Manu, let's have a table reading." And then that table reading happened when we met. So so and then we're here tonight. So i i, I I'm guilty. I got that one hole and I placed everything in because my said Luke wants more characters, create a whole universe of it, and I go, "You asked the wrong guy. I hope you're ready for this." And then she was like, "What? Where did you get those names?" And I said, "I dreamt them all." And so Swanka, I know you know this. Like for somebody like me who bleeds out crazy stuff in my bed every night, this thing that happened to me and Maya and this chance, this was this was me like a little boy in a whole castle you know of candies, and it's like I'm in the chocolate factory suddenly, and I'm like eating what I want, and giving what I want, creating what I wanted. And then I was so scared, Swanka. I was so scared that they might not like it. And then here goes my sending it to some film critics I didn't know. And then she surprised me with their reactions. And so I'm crazy. I'm like a little girl giggling here with excitement, like, wow, like a little boy with a new toy. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they're reading it. So then she tells me that their reaction was, it was prolific, it was amazing. They can't, they weren't they were not ready that it was written by a Filipino. Although I can't blame, I grew up Europeanly, but so there. And I'm like, I still can't believe it. This hasn't sunk into me yet, like you interviewing me now. It's like, okay, I was wanting to get ready for this night, but then I said, nah, there's nothing to get ready for. I know what I'm gonna say. Whatever Swanga's gonna ask me, I will know what to say. So that's the journey of it. Now we're pushing further to the next level of it now. And then of course, you know how it is in showbiz, right? I mean, your your
Right.
your your main script, that's gonna still be tweaked, if need be, or cured a little. So I'm ready for it. I told my game, let's go. As long as it's headed by me, because I'm the one who knows the vision, right? and
Sure.
and and these artists, these writers in from Hollywood, they're gonna be taking my lead. So I'm game. I said I'm game. I'm not selfish like that. And I and I know I'm not a perfect writer. Of course, I've got boo boos there, but then I'm game. I'm game to be cured in whatever sense. So that thing that you read, that's like raw from my heart and soul. I didn't want to be technical, Swanga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want it to be super clean, squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
I don't want it to sound intellectual. I want it to sound raw. Raw passion. You know how you sometimes read some love letters, but they have some funny spellings, but it slides in just right.
Hmm.
Like you feel the character, you feel what kind of a guy wrote this. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. So I didn't want to. So I told my look, this is not perfect. There are typo errors, there are grammatical errors, and I don't want to change it. But if you're saying that they need to be cured, go ahead. I don't mind.
Okay.
So
So Ecean, written by Manu, is again a screenplay. It's in pre-production right now, and expects to be moving forward very soon. So can you tell us who would you like to see direct the film when it actually gets to that point?
oh my gosh. Um well, I've been obsessing on two directors so far from outside, yeah, from abroad. Um though I have one ultimate like I love Akira Kurosawa. But of course, so I love Akira Kurosawa. Anything about his work, I eat it up. And then I also love uh, 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 who's the Christopher Nolan. So I just don't. I want to ask you, Swanga. I discovered a book, and it says written by Christopher Nolan, but the Christopher Nolan on that book is like a teenager. He's like a savant. Is this the same Christopher Nolan who's directing now? The book is entitled "Damn Burst of Dreams." You think it's the
Hmm.
same Christopher Nolan? Because
Yeah,
that
I'm
book,
I'm not I'm
right?
not familiar with that book.
Oh, okay. Because that book was written when he was a child. But I think now he's grown. He's a director. Because I don't know. Because it's brilliant. And then, of course, I come to the point of answering your question directly. I would love for Guillermo del Toro to direct this. But I love Pan's Labyrinth. I love everything else. So, um, yeah. But my was like, if his schedule permits him to do it. But although I'm like, no, I won't push it. But any director who's brave enough to jump in or passionate enough to deal with it, that the material won't, any director who would want to really be true to the story and create even further and add up to it, then I'm game. It doesn't have to be a famous one, but though,
Sure.
of course, you know how it works. It would be nice if it was Guillermo del Toro. So, but I'm happy that Guillermo have the chance to read my script. That's it. I'm happy with that. But but there. So and yeah, and whoever else, like, I won't mind really, Swanka, because I would want to really work with them closely. I want to be able to be that, like, the creative advisor beside them. So because I will be really wanting to flesh out the vision that I've had for 28 years. So yeah, that's whoever is game to get the journey done with me. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Sounds good. So
Hmm.
how do you think you'll feel when the film actually gets adapted? The screenplay actually gets adapted into a film.
That's like a very powerful question right there. uh, I don't know. Maybe I think. I think I'll feel blanked, like blanked out, like numb or something. I mean, I think it's just gonna have a quite a time to settle in. I think it's going to be like a slow burn into my heart, mind, and soul until I get it. Maybe until, maybe I will give you a reaction until I see it running in theaters or streaming somewhere. But initially, of course, I will not believe it happening. Because Swanka, you have to understand, like for people like us, we've been dreaming all our lives, and we've been presented by people that they would love to help in, they would love to make our dreams happen, but then they pull the rug under your feet every time. You know, I'm used to this, so that's why I don't really celebrate first
Sure.
un- until I really have it in my hands. You know what I'm saying? So. Um, I know you get my drift about this. It's
Sure.
like until I see it playing, you know, even I tell you, even if I see the end product, like the post production, like after editing it with like ready to show, I still won't believe it until it's streaming, until people are reacting to it.
Sure.
Probably
Sure.
after, probably after the press con about it, I
Gotcha.
would it would get into me already, and I would probably cry.
Right. Well, one step at a time, and it certainly sounds like things are progressing in the correct direction. So that's good.
Yeah, slow burn. I guess it's how it works, in life. You don't want your dreams to happen like tomorrow. I think it's a slow burn, really. Like the real dreams, they do happen in a slow burn manner. So I'm not in a hurry anymore. Hey, I have waited 28 years. I don't think I'll be in a hurry anytime about it. So a year or two, 5 years, 10 years, I don't care. As long as it happens.
So,
So, I believe.
yeah.
I believe.
So let me ask you this: what do you want to be known for? Like, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Whew, okay. I want to prove to all of the artists that are existing in this world that there are only two kinds of artists. The learned one and the born one. Now, I want to make them all realize that I never stopped. I never stopped eating anything that came my way and anything that crossed my path. I want to prove to them that that is how you live to get to your dreams. That is how you prove that you are passionate about something. Anything at anything at that matter, at any dream at all, like whatever you dream to be. I want to prove that you just have to be a monster about it. You have to fight your way to get there. I fought so many battles to get here to this interview. I I I I I argued with some people. I argued with my family. I argued with best friends. I argued with friends, with strangers, with educators, with people who are telling me to concentrate on just having a job so I can live my life. I'm like, no. So I was a monster about it, and I want to be known for somebody who didn't stop, somebody who did not care about what can't be done and what should not be done. I want to break all of it. I want to be radical. So I want to be known as that human being that never stopped until he ate everything up and got to his dreams. And I want to die wanting more of my art and my passion. I want to breathe my last breath saying it works. So, so yeah, I actually have um, a statement, Swanka, to tell the world. I have a statement that I want people to say to the world, like my life is for those who try not to understand. So I want that in my tombstone. His life is for those who tried not to understand. You know what you get my drift? Like
I do.
try there are people who try so hard not to understand things because they, they're scared. Scared to scared to be affected by it, scared to be opened by it, scared to be told they're wrong about things, scared to realize they're not on the right track, scared to realize they were wrong, scared to realize there's another world out there, scared to realize there's another human behind that wall. There's another kind of human behind everything. There's there are truths unknown that should be, studied, realized, and stuff. So yeah, I'm crazy like this, Swanka, and I have never spoken like this to anybody official. Never. Just my best friends and some weird friends that I have. This
True.
is the first time that I'm saying all this in publicly on social media. So yeah, I'm I have butterflies in my stomach now. I'm realizing it's sinking into me now that, oh shucks, I'm saying it already. I'm telling people. So this interview is like the like a mark, a you know it's amazing. I'm happy I'm saying this, and to you, for someone who don't know me. So I'm ready. And guess what? When people tell me I'm a weirdo, trust me, it's music to my ears.
Well, I mean, all creators, we're all a little bit crazy, right? Because you
Right,
kind of have to
right,
be.
yeah,
That's just part. This part of this comes. It's par for the course. You know what I mean?
yeah. We
And
actually love it,
yeah,
right? We love it when people tell us we're freaks.
right, yeah. So I mean,
What's gonna
that's
kill
where
us?
a lot of where creativity comes from is from a place of strangeness and oddness. And you mentioned Guillermo del Toro, and think about the films that he makes, and think about
Yeah.
the amount of thought and creativity and just like odd kind of mindset that you need to come up with these kind of ideas and take them from an idea on paper to something that people can actually physically see. So
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm. It will actually kill us when people tell us we're normal, right? It will be like a stab in the heart when people will tell you you're normal. So I hate that when, but no one has ever told me that yet, ever. But yeah, and my dad told me not to stop. So when he passed, the last thing he told me was, just do it, son, do it, because I see you love what you're doing. So just do it. Don't stop. And he just laughs about it. When people argue with me and people hate on me because of my weirdness, my dad's laughing and saying, "Do it. I see you loving it, and you're you have a different glow when you're weirding out." So I'm like, "Wow, my dad's saying, just go." Usually, we would expect dads and moms to say, "Hey, don't be too weird. Don't be too this. Don't be too that." I remember my mom asking me one time when I was young, "Hey, son, do you worship the devil?" Just because of my weird drawings and artworks and stuff. And I'm like, "Mom," I said, "Ma," I answered them the scariest answer of all. I said, I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Ma, you think if I was, I'd tell you?" And then she was like, "No, son." So I said, "Just kidding, ma. Just kidding. Of course I don't." So yeah, there.
Right on. Well, I couldn't be more excited for you. Obviously, full disclosure, I am assisting with the production on the with
Yeah.
marketing, art marketing and promotional side of things. So, really excited to see the film, transition from where it is now in the script phase to, more pre-production activities and, making some announcements about who's associated and attached to the project, some potentially some big names, and we hope to have some of that news for you in the first quarter of 2023. All that stuff is still fluid. We're still figuring it out. But the last question I want to ask you before we end is, if you could deliver a message to other artists across the world, other people who are creatives, what would that message be?
Ah, wow. Yeah. To all the artists out there, there is. Sorry, but this is such a sweeping statement, but I will say it. There is nothing, you can't do. Nothing. With art, it's like magic. When you believe, it does happen. It works. Even if people breathe down your neck saying you can't do it, that won't work. That can't be. People will get mad at you. People will ridicule you. People will laugh at you. Don't listen to them. You are your own captain. You are your own magician. You are your own warlock. You create your own universe. You will die breathing your last breath, king of your universe. So don't forget this. There are only two artists in the world, but you want to be just the other one. There's a learned artist and there's a born artist. Nothing beats the born one. But an artist anyway, one of those two categories, go. Believe, create magic, don't stop. And please don't say no. Try it first before you say it can't be done. Like let's say you want to color something. Don't say that can't be. No, do it first. Experiment and then see before your eyes that it don't work. Then you say it won't work. Because other people, Swanga, they always just begin to just say, "Oh no, that's hard. That can't be." You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through this when I do stage setups and stuff. They always just blurt out the first sentence. "Oh, that's hard. That can't be." I hate that when I talk to somebody, especially somebody who claims to be an artist. I'm like, geez, guys, please, can we just try it first before we say, okay, now it can't work. Now it don't work. Now we have proof it does not work. You know, Swanka, I never stopped experimenting ever. I have tried billions of things and discovered things as I was trying them. That's why I have so many little formulas that I own myself that I discovered and I'm sharing now. And again, there's two kinds of teachers: the selfish one and the giver. The selfish one is the teacher who just teaches you what you need to learn. But the giver teaches you what you need to learn and then teaches you the little secrets they discovered themselves.
Right.
That's what you wanted to become. That's what you want to become as an artist. Just share the magic. And then the one you're teaching, they got to add their magic to your magic, which turns them into a better version of you. Because if I'm your teacher, Swanka, and I teach you for 2 months, and then you're not better than me, there's no use. Then I don't work. Then my teaching did not work, right? So your student always have to be better than you after the training, because because you're passing it on and then they're adding on to it. So it logically has to be a better formula every time after you teach. So that's what I want to tell the artists of the world. Please don't listen to people who tell you it won't work, and don't listen to people who tell you there's no money in art, you cannot live a good life in art. Because I did it. I did it. My name is Manu Giovanni Escalambre Raspall. I did it. I broke through all of those. No, you can't. I broke through all of the formula who said I can't mix oil with things. I can't mix this material with this. I can't make suits with hard fall leather. No, I said I can, and I did it. And then I got featured in places. So I proved it, and everybody just went, okay, So, and I lived my life. I was able to help others because of my art. I lived my own life since I was 17. I'm 45 now. I'm paying rent, bills, and stuff because of my art. I never had a normal job, Swanka, ever. I tried to be a waiter for 2 months, but it didn't work because they didn't want to order from me. So they wanted to order from like, long story, but I just quit after 2 months. I said,
Yeah.
this is not working for me.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you sharing your art and your inspiration. It's a phenomenal script.
Thank you,
Ecean,
thank you.
fantasy, adventure. Make sure you guys are staying locked into the QC. I'll have all the news and updates as the film progresses from pre-production to production and ultimately to release. And Manu, thank you again so much. Really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about your background, learning about the
Thank you,
screenplay for
Swanka.
Ecean that you've written. And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Swanka. Thank you, everybody. The QC guys, please support every time, because
Okay.
from this show you'll see everything, the progress.
Okay. We'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.
Thanks, Swanka.